Hi you guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back. So today's video is going to be my November favorites, and I am coming at you barefaced today because I wanted to do my favorites this month in more of a try-on style kind of video. I know a few of you were asking for more tutorial style videos, and also I threw all my favorites down on my desk and I'm looking at everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally create a full face, a full look with all of these items. So I thought I would mix it up a little bit. I thought this would be fun. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I have a lot of things to talk about here today. Lots of skincare, also some makeup. But the main kind of theme of this video is hydration. My skin has been super extra dry. The cold air is coming in and my skin just feels like a shriveled, flaky, crepey mess. So I'm trying to focus my skincare on just extra hydration, and then also with my makeup products, like especially my foundation, primers, I'm just reaching for things that really just pack in the moisture. So yeah, that's kind of the theme of this video, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy my November favorites. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's start off with what I've been loving for AM skincare. So in the morning, I'll usually just splash my face with some cold water. Sometimes I'll even just splash some of this Makeup raw sauce on my face before I do the rest of my skincare, and I have just been loving this. This is just so good. But I just do a couple of splashes in my hand, just rub my hands together and just kind of pat it into my skin, and it just gives like the most dewy, like pretty refreshed dewy finish. It just refreshes my skin, and it really just, I don't know, it wakes me up. It's a little pick me up in the morning. There's something about skincare when my skin feels hydrated, it just, I don't know, it's like a boost of energy for me. But see how it just gives like a dewy glow to the skin? I swear the term glass skin came from that product because it really does give your skin that like glowy, just left the spa kind of look. It's just so pretty, and the hydration is just so nice. It makes my skin feel so good. And then I've been going in with the Bliss Glow and Hydrate Niacinamide and Hyaluronic Acid Serum. But I like this because it reminds me a lot of the, what is that primer called? The Smashbox Primerizer. It has that like milky, creamy serum type of consistency, but it's so lightweight and absorbs into the skin so nicely. And the second ingredient in it is niacinamide, so I feel like I'm getting, you know, a little bit of brightening from it, and it's just, you know, it packs in some extra moisture too, so I really love it. And I like it in the morning because it works really well with makeup. It doesn't pill or anything. But yeah, my AM serums have to work well with my foundation or it's just like a no-go. But yeah, I just found that this works well with literally any foundation. So I've been loving that. And then also, so SPF recently. I'm gonna go in today with my Comfy Water Sunblock by Purito. This is great. It's also super lightweight. It doesn't leave a white cast, and it has a nice dry down time. Like it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't leave a film on the face. It just dries down, not to a matte finish. It does leave a little bit of a sheen, but it doesn't give your skin that like greasy look that a lot of sunscreens can give your skin. So I just love this, and it's great because there's no fragrance to this, and it's pretty cool because there used to be an essential oil in here. I think there used to be, I'm gonna say orange peel oil, but a lot of people were complaining about that in the reviews and they took it out. So I just thought that was so commendable. I've never, leave a comment down below if you've heard of another brand doing that, because I don't really think I have. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but yeah, I just think that is really cool that, you know, they're actually listening to us. So I appreciate that. So yeah, I've just been loving those products for my AM skincare. All right, so while those products sink in, I'm gonna do my eyeshadow, and today I'll be using the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette. So I just received this maybe a week or two ago now, and it's already a favorite. I know I'm just gonna get so much use out of this. This is gonna be my everyday palette. These shades are so creamy, so blendable, and just my perfect color scheme too. I just love this shade range. I mean, obviously it's not a big shade range, it's just your neutral palette, but I appreciate that because I'm just a neutral girl. I like my neutrals, and I like that there's a good mix of shimmers and mattes. There's actually more mattes than shimmers, and I will not buy a palette if it doesn't have like a good base color and then also a nice cool tone transition color. And I actually love that the transition color, this Coolada shade, is very cool toned. I feel like so many palettes these days have these warm tone transition colors, which I like some days. I feel like they do kind of bring out the green in my eyes, but more so I think they just accentuate the red in my eye. So I definitely appreciate a cool tone transition color. All right, so I'm just gonna go in and start with some concealer. This is the Stay Naked concealer. I hate this concealer for underneath the eyes. It's so drying. I don't think, is there denatured alcohol in here? I don't think there is, but I know there's alcohol in the Stay Naked foundation. But regardless, this is just super, it sucks the life out of underneath my eyes. It just makes them look so creepy. But because of how dry it is, it works really well as like a base for eyeshadow. But I'm first gonna start with this shredded color on the lid. Oh my gosh, see, it's doing it. Okay, so I didn't mention this yet. So sometimes this is a problem and sometimes it's not, but the pans slide around so easily in this palette. Can you see that? The magnet must just not be as strong as it needs to be. When I first received the palette, 3 shades were like slid over. You could only see, they were only like half visible. So I actually damaged, what was it? This shimmer shade. I damaged that when I was trying to move it over. So that is super frustrating. The packaging is kind of chintzy. It's like this light plastic packaging, and I just wish that magnet was stronger. So that's the only bummer about this palette. But I'm telling you, these shades are just so gorgeous, and they're just so creamy and blendable. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with the packaging. And then I'm gonna go in with that transition color I was talking about, the shade Colada over here. Oh, like I said, this is like just the perfect color. This shade reminds me of Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. Just that perfect like ashy toned transition color. I have been learning, especially over the last couple of years, that I have to go up a little higher with my transition color, especially with my hooded eyes. Just the higher the better, because that shadow helps to create lift in the eye, and I just find that, I don't know, if it's low, it just accentuates my hood and it just makes my eyes almost look puffy. Also, try to come out with your transition color. If you go down, it's going to bring in your eye, but if you extend it out, it just opens up your eye, and then you can clean it up once you do your foundation. But I don't know, I just love that trick. It'll feel like you're overdoing it, but once the rest of your makeup's on, everything will come together. All right, then I'm gonna go into the shade Nutty, this matte brown down here, and I'm just gonna make almost like a V on this outer corner. When I'm using dark shades like this, I like to start off with a light hand and just work up the color. I feel like it helps the blendability of the shadow when you do that, and then it also creates that like gradient effect. But these shadows work really well together. You don't really have to do much blending. All right, so I just spent another like 3 minutes just working up that color in that outer V. So I couldn't be happy with that right there. I love that for just like an everyday look. But I think I'm gonna do almost like a cut crease and do like a gradient effect across the lid. I'm gonna go into this shade right here, Get Cracking. This is such a gorgeous like sequin shade. It reminds me so much of the shade Ritual from Tati's palette. I love it. Let me show you how it looks swatched. It has that matte base, but with just a little bit of shimmer in it. See how like it almost looks like a textured shadow? It's just, oh, I love it. So I'm just gonna go, let me see, I'll go in on my outer corner with that. This is like the first and only palette that has gotten me excited about eyeshadow recently. I don't know, I feel like, do you guys have total like palette burnout? Even the Urban Decay Honey palette just didn't do it for me. I don't know, the colors were gorgeous, but I just couldn't see myself reaching for those like gold bright yellows. What has gotten me excited recently? I know a lot of ColourPop releases like always get me. The new Kathleen Lights palette, oh my gosh, that one looks so gorgeous. I don't even know if it's out yet, but it was in that palette that has the single shadows, and it's in like one of those, almost like a Z palette. But the shadows looked so gorgeous, like my kind of shades. Neutrals with a lot of like purple tones. But yeah, that one definitely tempted me. What else? Oh, even the KKW, the one with Mario, that one looks gorgeous too. But you guys need to let me know, is there anything out there that has really caught your attention? Or do you guys have palette burnout like me? But I just didn't feel like I really needed any of those palettes until I saw this Going Coconuts palette. It's just perfect for every day, and I just love that. It's like the perfect size and it'll fit my makeup bag. So I was just so excited about this, and I've just been loving it. The shimmers in here are so gorgeous. They're so creamy, and they just go on so easily. They wear really nicely. I will say you get a little bit of fallout, but not bad. Oh my gosh, this shimmery white is like so intense. Oh, I just love that. That white really like opens up the eye. The gold in here, this Cocoa Crush, is absolutely insane too. I've been wearing this a lot just on its own. It's this gorgeous like rose gold color. Oh my gosh, you guys see that? It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm obsessed with this palette. And then for a lower lash line color, I'm gonna go into the shade Shell Yeah. It's this pretty, it almost has like a pinky undertone. It's like a pinky brown color. I don't know, I've been liking this underneath for my lower lash line. It has like the slightest warmth to it, but not like overly intense. And then I just threw a little bit of the Sigma Inner Rim eye brightener in my eyes. It's not really a monthly favor because, I don't know, I don't reach for it that much, but I like it for when I'm doing like a more glam look. But I just feel like it helps to open up my teensy little eyes. But the key is to do it before you do mascara, or otherwise you get like white on your lashes, and then yeah, your mascara is just ruined. But okay, a favorite for the month is the Caution Mascara by Hourglass. This has been like, this is gonna be like my new favorite mascara, which I'm kind of, I'm not sad about it because I'm excited that I discovered a favorite, but it's a pricey mascara and I just feel like I'm gonna wanna repurchase this all the time, but it's okay. I just love it. I know I'm gonna miss it once I run out of it. So yeah, the brush is just so amazing. Like when you look at it, it doesn't look like anything much. It's just like your typical cone-shaped brush, but it grabs the base of your lashes. I don't know, there's just something about this brush. It just distributes the formula so perfectly. This mascara is like ultra black. It's really lengthening. It separates. It really holds up really well. It reminds me a lot of the Essence Lash Princess mascara, but this lasts like so much better. The Essence mascara smudges pretty easily, but that's still one of my favorite drugstore mascaras. I'm curious though, have any of you guys tried the waterproof version of the Lash Princess? Maybe that holds up a little better. But yeah, there's so many great drugstore mascaras out there. Another one of my favorites is the Flower Beauty Lash Princess. But I think, or no, is it the Lash Princess? No, not the Lash Princess. Lash Warrior, that's what it is. But they discontinued it. I did see they have a new one though, which I'm dying to try, but it hasn't been in stock on Ulta. So as soon as it's in, I am definitely picking that one up. All right, so eyes are done. Now I'm just gonna do my brows really quick with the Anastasia Medium Brown Brow Powder Duo. I'm not really that big on like the big stenciled brows. I just like a more of a natural look. I love this stuff though. I just feel like it's so natural looking. It's almost like undetectable on your eyebrows. Like it just makes them look so natural, which I love. And it really lasts a long time. Like this lasts all day and does not budge. All right, now onto foundation. First, I'll start with my base. Wait, darn it. Oh my gosh, I wanted to apply, dang it. I wanted to talk about this First Aid Beauty. I don't even know, where are you? The First Aid Beauty Eye Duty. I usually apply this before concealer. It works really well underneath concealer, but it definitely needs some time to sink in. So you know what, we're not gonna do this today, but I'll be talking about this in a future video. I think I'm gonna do a video about products I use every day but don't talk about all the time. It's kind of like the hidden gems in my collection. Let me know if you guys would be into that, but darn it, yeah, it definitely needs some time to sink in. So I think I'll skip the under eye cream for today, but I'll go in with my Hello Fab Coconut Skin Smoothie Primer. This has been like my go-to this month, another favorite. It's great if you have dry skin, and even if you have oily skin, it's really lightweight, but it just gives the perfect amount of moisture, and it just gives such like a pretty glowy base. It allows the foundation to glide on really easily, and I just love that like glow from within look it gives to the skin. All right, I just wanted to zoom out there, that's better. All right, so even on the days where I'm not wearing any makeup, I'll use this with my Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Drops, and it just, I don't know, it gives some extra moisture to the skin and just, like I said, some life and hydration to the skin. It doesn't really fill in your pores if you're looking for a pore filling primer, but it just creates like a smooth base. It makes your makeup last and gives that, like I said, glow from within look. So love that. All right, before we go with foundation, just gonna put a little something on my lips. Another favorite with this month is the ColourPop Lippy Balm, the Cocoa, what is this called? The Coco Loco Lippy Balm. This is awesome. I've been loving this. I wasn't expecting much from this because it was just like, I don't know, a $6 lip balm, but it has shea butter in it, and there's also sunflower seed oil, which are both really moisturizing ingredients. And it's the perfect like occlusive balm. Like it's not too thin. I was using the First Aid Beauty, what's that called? The Lip Therapy Balm, I think it is. And that was just, it's just too thin. It sinks into your lips too quickly, and I just felt like I didn't get the moisture from it. This actually like seals in moisture, so I don't know, I've been really liking this. Pleasantly surprised. Okay, and then the foundation I've been reaching for all November is the It Cosmetics CC Illumination Cream. This is such a great foundation if you guys love like high coverage but yet a dewy finish. It just gives the most gorgeous, perfect amount of coverage, like high enough where it covers everything but not too much where it looks cakey on the face. It just gives such like a smooth effect to the skin. I just love it. It's so moisturizing, which is why I've been reaching for it so much, because it really just hydrates the skin. It sits really nicely on the skin, and yeah, I love the moisturization I get from it. But do you see that? It just gives such like a radiant finish. It just smooths out the skin. It's one of my favorites. I love it so much. I put this aside for a while and I wasn't really reaching for it. You know what? I was using their matte version for a while. That is great. It's great for the summer, and also even when your skin is dry, it really is hydrating. Probably one of the most hydrating matte foundations that I have ever found. It's just so good. You cannot go wrong with any of the CC cream formulas. They're just great. There's also some really great ingredients in here. There's collagen, which I know they say collagen doesn't really, if you're applying it topically on your skin, it's not going to increase the collagen production in your skin. But if anything, they say it acts as a good humectant and a moisturizer. So I do appreciate that. And there's niacinamide in here. What else? There's snail mucin. Snail mucin is actually the second ingredient in here, which snail mucin has natural peptides, also natural hyaluronic acid. So really plumping to the skin. So yeah, I'm just loving everything that's in here. There's fragrance. It's kind of a citrusy, almost like a cleaning product kind of smell, not the most pleasant. Their matte version is fragrance free, so if you're skin sensitive, maybe try out the matte version. But I don't know, the scent does dissipate. See, you don't really need much either. The littlest bit goes a long way. It's just, oh, it's a great foundation. I love those CC creams. All right, so next up, concealer. Another favorite for this month is this one by Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Magic Concealer. No, what do you call it? The Magic Away Liquid Concealer. This is absolutely gorgeous. I am just loving the dewy finish of this. It's so moisturizing. It doesn't give that like crepey look underneath the eyes. I will say it does crease slightly. Let me get in a little closer so you guys can see. It does crease ever so slightly, but I like that as it warms up, you can kind of pat it into your skin and like pat away the creasiness from it initially, and then it wears really nice all day. So you just have to work with it at the beginning, but it's just such a nice long wearing concealer that never looks drying or cakey. It has really great, I would say like medium to full coverage. You can definitely build it up. Really brightening. I know in the description it says it has light reflecting capabilities, and I can see that because it really is. It's really brightening. And I like the sponge applicator. I know people just get so annoyed with it. I'm not to the point, actually it is kind of getting a little bit messy. Everybody was saying how messy it gets, which it does, but I appreciate the fact that the sponge is really soft and you can literally use the sponge to apply it and smooth it out. I mean, you definitely have to use another tool like a sponge or a brush to just kind of blend it into the skin. But yeah, the sponge just helps you get like an even application. Yeah, and it blends in really seamlessly. I cannot stand when a concealer has a quick dry down time. That drives me nuts. But this is just such a dewy finish. It gives you time to work with it, which I appreciate. Okay, let me set that. I'm gonna go in with my Hourglass Veil Powder. One of you guys, I forget who it was, you guys gave me this tip. I was telling you guys how I hated this well. It was so hard to pick up the powder. It might have been more than one of you guys. Told me to apply it to the top of the lid, which is brilliant. Thank you for that tip. This powder is great for setting the under eye. Also really brightening. It's just a light powder and it gives you that like filtered effect, and it's non-drying, which I love. It's probably really creepy that I'm doing my makeup looking into the viewfinder right now. I just realized that. Let me go back to my mirror. The thing about this powder, I do find that it has a white cast if I use it as an all over finishing powder. So I really only use it just to set my concealer, to set my under eye, and that's about it. Otherwise it just washes me out. I'm doing it again. I'm looking at the viewfinder. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna go in and do a little contouring. I'm gonna try, you know what? I haven't tried this yet, but for the heck of it, let's just go into the shade Coolada and see how it works as a contour shadow, because like I was saying, it's perfectly ashy toned where I feel like, I don't know, I think it would work really well as a contour. Let's just see. Now it's super soft and pigmented. That's the only thing that kind of gives me pause, but let's see how this works out. All right. Actually blending really well. I never use that brush to contour. What am I doing? Okay, let me go back into that shade. All right, so those of you that were blessed with an Italian nose like I was, let me give you guys a few tips on how I contour. So I usually I'll just do the sides on the top of my nose, and then I'll do a little bit of a shadow at the, not the tip, but the bottom of my nose. And that kind of, if you have a longer nose, it kind of helps to lift your nose and makes it look a little shorter. And then sometimes I'll even go in and do almost like a cutout where my nostrils are, and it creates a shadow and just makes the nose look a little thinner. See that? It is amazing what contour can do. That worked pretty well as a contour. I will take it. Let me go back into the Hourglass powder, and a little setting powder to the sides of the nose almost gives a little bit more of a structured look as well. So I always like to do that. And then I'll do a little contour on my cheekbones. I'm not gonna use that shadow. I'll use my Bare Minerals bronzer. This is the bronzer in Faux Tan. I feel like I included this in a favorites maybe a couple months ago. Again, another really cool toned bronzer. I like this shade. It can double as a contour, and then you can also use it as an all over highlight, which I really like. Oh, darn it. Do I have it up here? I meant to use my ColourPop bronzer. Let me just contour with this, and then we'll go in with the ColourPop bronzer. But I guess I didn't have that in my head because it's not, the bronzer's not really a favorite. More so the eyeshadow palette was. But I do want you guys to see how that applies because I know a lot of people are interested in that. All right, so these bronzers are super pigmented. You really have to go in light-handed with these. Now, I will say, I know the first time I used it, I went in like way too much. Like I had so much color in my face, but I was able to blend it out. So they really do blend out really seamlessly, but they're super pigmented. A little more than I like in a bronzer, but the color is still really pretty. I have the shade Coconut Beach, and it's this gorgeous like natural tan shade. It's such a pretty like sun-kissed look. And like I said, it's just a really seamless bronzer. It goes on really easily, and it's just, I don't know, it's really natural looking. It warms up the face in a really pretty way. Like I was saying, it looks really natural, but the powder is super soft, so you pick up a lot of color. So I don't know, for me, I just don't like to have to think about, you know, my application process when I'm applying a bronzer. But the color is really pretty, and yeah, you just have to be careful because the pigmentation is intense. And then another favorite for the month is this Patrick Ta blush. This is the Monochrome Moment blush in She's Sincere. This is a gorgeous like neutral toned like peachy pink blush. It is just such a pretty color. It's perfect for every day. And what I love about this is he wanted this to look like you have almost like a second skin, like a natural flush in your cheeks. And it really does give that like perfect, like, I don't know, just a perfect flush, like not too much. Like it almost doesn't even look like you're wearing blush when you have these blushes on. I haven't tried any other colors, but I know this shade for me, I just feel like it looks really natural, and I really love it. Yeah, I'm just obsessed. It just looks like a your skin but better blush. Is that a thing? I don't think it is. That's a lip thing, but I don't know. It just looks like, you know, a warmth from within. It just almost like skin-like in a way. So I just love that blush. The only thing, it doesn't have any shimmer or like metallic shine to it. So I want to add a highlight. And another favorite for the month, this is an oldie but a goodie, the Anastasia Glow Kit, the Sugar Glow Kit. This is one of my favorite highlighter kits, and I am just obsessed with the shade, I was gonna say Sugar. Is there sugar in here? No, that's the name of the palette. But Starburst is one of my most favorite highlights. It has like a pinky champagne shimmer to it. It reminds me a lot of, do you guys remember back in the day, well, it's still around, I just don't, Benefit's not cruelty free, so I haven't bought from them in so long. But one of my first high-end purchases was from Benefit, and it was a highlighter in almost like a nail polish bottle, and it was such a gorgeous color. But I just remember loving that highlighter. I just feel like that pinky undertone is so flattering in a highlight, and this shade Starburst is just, oh, it's just gorgeous. Oh my gosh, these highlights are not for the faint of heart. You can work them up to that metallic shine, but if you just go in light-handed with like a fluffy brush like this Luxie brush, which by the way is another monthly favorite. I just got this at the beginning of the month, and I have just been loving this. I love how like sparsely the bristles are distributed. It really allows you to get like an airbrushed effect with like setting powder and even bronzer too. It looks really pretty with. I actually got this with the intention of using this with my Hourglass ambient lighting powders, but these powders are a little bit too like densely packed. It's kind of hard to pick up a lot of powder in this, but for a soft powder like the ColourPop bronzers or any kind of highlight, it works really nicely with, and I love it, like I said, as with a finishing powder. Another favorite for the month, speaking of finishing powder, is this Wowder powder from Glossier. I got this last year, and I don't know, I put this aside. I think I was reaching for the Hourglass powder a lot until I realized that that was giving me a white cast. So now I use this as an all-over finishing powder, and it is just, it's such like a light, airy powder. It's just gorgeous. If you have dry skin, it's such a nice finishing powder. It doesn't make my skin like look dry or crepey. It's almost like undetectable on the skin, which I really appreciate because I have to be really careful with powder because my skin is so dry. I even think I like this more than my Color Effect setting powder. That used to be my favorite, That's also good for dry skin, but it's a little bit heavier. This is just, like I said, a little bit more light and airy, and it just, I don't know, it just looks seamless on the skin. So I just love that powder. Another like rediscovered favorite for the month. Just obsessing over this. All right, and last but not least is a lipstick. This is one of my favorite lipsticks for the month. I have been reaching for this a lot. This is by Essence, and this is the shade number 01 from their This Is Nude collection. But this is a gorgeous like peachy pink. It reminds me a lot of Charlotte Tilbury's Bitch Perfect, a little darker and maybe a little bit more warm toned. But I just think the color is so pretty. And the formula is so nice. It's a matte finish, and it dries down, but not to the point where it like sucks the life out of your lips. It actually feels moisturizing. It almost feels like one of those, like, I don't know, like a velvet finish. It's just really nice. They wear really nicely, and yeah, I love this color. I feel like this looks a little bit more cool toned. Let me cool it down a little bit. I'm just gonna put a little dot of this Strip Search by Too Faced. This is one of their natural nudes shades. I love this, a really buttery formula. Man, these two colors actually look pretty together. I like that. Okay, all right, so that is the final look. That is the end of my favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this kind of tutorial type of favorites video. This was kind of fun and different, and it was a little bit easier for me to film too, because I could just come into my makeup room in here and just start filming. So I did enjoy this. I hope you guys did as well. Let me know your favorites for the month. What's your favorite dry skin or your favorite hydrating foundation? I'd love to know. I love discovering new foundations, and of course I always love hearing from you guys. So yeah, let me know your favorites for the month. Thank you again for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. See you guys.